Good day, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. For those people that have been joining us for the past 4 weeks, a big thank you and well done. We see the commitment to, I see you very committed to improving yourself professionally. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can, but not the presentation mode.
I'm changing that now. Presentation mode now?
Yes, please.
So last week, okay, I was thanking all those that have been joining us, and I believe the sessions have been very impactful, very valuable for you. And that was what we had in mind when we put this together. Because a lot of people need clarity. Some people want to do business analysis. They don't even know where to start from. And I believe in the first 2 weeks, we were able to clarify that for you if you are in that category. Some people are already, they've done training, but they are still confused. They're not sure they're not sure they have all the knowledge and competence they need to start out. We hope we have also helped you clarify issues. Well, some people are on the job, but still might need 1 or 2 handholding and of course some clarification. Basically, I hope if whatever category, whatever your needs were for joining this training, I hope we've been able to meet that. If not, feel free to ask questions. Somebody will be looking at the chat today. We'll try and address as much as we can. Okay, let's look at what we have today. So last week there was a poll, and a lot of people voted. The majority wanted a process improvement rundown. And if we want to do that, I'm not sure if we would have time to take, we won't even do a good job of trying to teach process improvement from beginning to end. So I thought a lot of us would have had 1 or 2 introductions. You would have taken some Udemy course or a YouTube course, or maybe you've been in an organization where they are trying to advocate process improvement and you've had 1 or 2 trainings. So I thought of, rather than go through all the, a whole training, in fact, is a class on its own. We don't even go very in-depth. Process improvement is another monster on its own because there are so many methodologies and you need to understand what to do each step of the way. So I thought to share a story. I've had a lot of experience helping organizations improve their processes, re-engineer their processes. And I thought, why don't I do an introduction of what process improvement is all about and then tell you my story. And then hopefully with my story, you should be able to, how would I say, you should be able to relate with what you've read. It should make sense because now I'm telling you what I've done in real life. And you should be able to also ask questions that can help you connect the dots. If you think that approach is a good one, let me know just with a yes in the chat before I proceed. Because we have limited time, how best can we use this time? And I thought, tell a story and let people see how everything comes together. I'm not getting any feedback in the chat. Is it me? Okay, there are messages. Okay, yes. Okay, thank you. Now let us start. So who has heard process in no, so let me use the word, 2 words. Who is familiar with process re-engineering and continuous improvement? What is the difference between both of them? Because they're all related to process. What's the difference between a process re-engineering and just a process improvement? I don't know if that's the right question. Okay, no, process re-engineering and continuous improvement, yes, because both of them are still process improvements. Any ideas? Re-engineering is revamping. Hi, Dotoi, thank you. First time here. I hope you would make out time to go look at the replays you will get a lot of value doing that. So you can send us an email if you don't have the replays, links to the replays, we can send that to you after this training. I only see Fumi. Fumi, is who else knows the difference between
Adewale is raising his hands up. I'm trying to unmute him.
Oh, Harry, let's don't unmute. We don't have so much time. Let him put it.
Okay. Okay.
Please. Process reengineering, Abby says, is changing the method or approach to the process. Fola says is reviewing all old process and advancing. Yeah, Fola, continuous improvement could also be reviewing old. Okay, now you put advancing. Okay, so I'm getting more of reengineering. So what of continuous improvement? I just need the difference. Somebody should tell me one word to differentiate between both of them. They are both process improvement initiative, but one word or a phrase that differentiates both initiatives for an organization. Yeah, Fumi says changing approach. Makes sense. Okay, because one is continuous and one is static. Okay, close. Yeah, I think I like Frances. I hope I got the name. Continuous. Ongoing. Good. Abby, I love improvement is ongoing. Olubusola, re-engineering, remodifying the entire product, where improvement is enhancing. One is an overhaul. Thank you very much, Lara. And the other is what? Terry says process. Yes, both of them have process attached to their name. Okay, now let's get started. I have 5 minutes to make this introduction. Take a pause because I need somebody to come on board and speak, and then we continue our training. So both of them are process improvements. It's all about improving processes, but one is a radical rejogging, overhaul, revamping, while the other one is gradual incremental change. And this graph, I don't know, can you see the graph? Harry. Okay.
Yes, we can. The business process improvement graph.
So the graph, as we can see, looking at this graph, a business process improvement initiative is looking at improving the performance of the business. That's the end goal at the end of the day. You are improving it. You could be improving it cost-wise. You are trying to reduce costs, improve revenue. You are trying to reduce turnaround time. You are improving efficiency. You are trying to be more effective. And all of this goes into improving the business performance overall. So now you could either be doing a business process reengineering or a continuous improvement. Now, a continuous improvement, I would simply define, is an incremental, gradual change. And as you can see from the graph, see, continuous improvement is happening over time. It's a continuous process. It never ends. And it's gradual, incremental changes. You see how it's going up the graph? So you might have review circles, maybe quarterly review circles, monthly review circles, and then you are learning from what you have implemented, getting feedback from your customers, from stakeholders, and you are improving your process. That is continuous improvement. However, you could get to a point, maybe after a couple of years, to say, oh, this process is not serving us any longer. The industry has moved on. There's been a radical change in the industry. We've seen some of this happen. For example, the pandemic was a good case for some organizations to initiate a process reengineering project. If it's an organization that typically operates brick and mortar, in the pandemic, you have to rethink the way you serve your customer. You can't do gradual increment. You need to radically look at how best to serve your customer. Because there was a pandemic, people were skeptical about going out and picking up, going out. They don't want to get infected and all of that. So if you were a strictly brick and mortar organization, you didn't have online presence, that was an opportunity for you to make a change. And that would not be a gradual change. That would have been a radical change that could even impact the way you serve your customer, you reach out to different stakeholders. So that's the nearest example that comes to mind. So for a re-engineering process project, you are revamping, you are changing your business model as it were. And it's a major change, it's not a gradual one. And typically, when you are done with your re-engineering projects, you continue to improve your process. You don't just, process improvement is continuous. And the next slide speaks to that. So basically, it's all about continuous improvement. How many people knows about the plan, do, check, act? That's a very common methodology. And most of all the lean processes, the agile processes are, they kind of draw from this plan, do, check, and act. Because basically, as a business, even as individuals, we apply this in our daily life, right? We do periodic reviews. So we plan at the beginning of the year, we set out our personal goals. And then based on our goals, we act, we do. After a quarter, after a month, depending on how you do your personal reviews, you want to check, how am I doing? How am I doing against my set goals? Am I doing well? And then based on what you've learned, maybe that you've changed your mind. I don't think this goal is what I want to pursue after all. You make changes. Or I don't think the approach I've been using has been working. What are the lessons learned? You incorporate it and make changes. So basically, process improvement is increment. You're making incremental improvement over time. However, for re-engineering is a radical change. I'll pause now, and before I stop sharing, I don't know if Tosin, are you here? So we wanted to get, we wanted some of our people that have participated in our training before now to provide some feedback. She's leaving very soon for another engagement, and we needed her to just come and talk to us. Harry, can you unmute her, please? So just to provide a bit of the background, she was part of our practical hands-on training we had sometime last summer, and she had not done anything business analysis. That was her first time. And she would, let me allow her tell the rest of her story. I'm stopping to share. Please go ahead.
Tosin, can you raise your hands up? I just want to identify you. Yes, there are a lot of people here. Yes, so yes, Tosin, you can talk now. You can unmute yourself.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Very well.
I'm trying to turn on my video. Okay.
Nice, very well.
All right. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Yeah, my name is Tosin Ilelaboye, and I'm so happy to, or let me say I'm honored. I feel honored to be part of this group, and also I'm very honored to share my story with you guys. And of course, above all, I'm grateful to God for this opportunity. So I'm just going to start by telling you about myself, about my career background, then how I ventured into business analysis. So I started my business analyst career just last year. So if somebody is on this table and be like, oh, where do I start from? I started my own just last year, May. And before then, I started out as a biochemist, and from biochemistry, I moved into health and safety. So all my life experience had been about health and safety. So from there, but during the pandemic, I knew I wanted to do something. I knew I wanted to do something related to IT. I wanted to do business analysis, but I didn't know how to go about it. So I met with Oge. I spoke to her on the phone, and she was like, oh, Tosin, you can do it. People have done this before. You can. So she gave me that push and that encouragement, and I started out. So I can tell you that I got this from this training. Was the first time I heard about methodology. I've never heard of agile methodology or waterfall methodology before. I got it from this training. But because I had that will and I wanted to learn, so I joined the career head up team, and I got the opportunity to work on some projects. And the project was carried out using agile methodology. So this gave me that exposure to venture into my business analysis. And of course, I did the training. So I just want to encourage someone on this platform this morning that even if you're a scientist or you're from arts or accounting units or something, this is doable. You can do this. And it's not like you stop at being a business analyst. You can venture into other things. So business analysis is like the platform, like the bouncing castle that will push you up to get into other career that you want. So if you want to be a project manager, of course, you can start as a business analyst. If you want to be like a Salesforce admin, you can start at this, and you're going to get the best experience, the best encouragement from this group. Oge and Ari are well, I'm telling you, their wealth of experience has actually helped me. I don't even have to reach out to them. Sometimes I just look up on their LinkedIn accounts and, read up some, whatever they post on LinkedIn, and add that to my own knowledge as well. And of course, you can also go on Udemy, to get some courses. You can go on YouTube. YouTube should be your best friend. Anything, just search on YouTube, you get it. So I just want to tell you that I got a job last year, November. I started this training last year and I got a job last year, November, and I'm enjoying it. And even at my place of work, they told me, oh, Tosin, thank you for joining our team. You're so experienced. I'm like, huh? I'm so experienced? No, I'm not though. Like in my mind, I'm like, But they're like, but because I've, read a lot of things, I attended the training. When I don't know anything, I ask questions, and we have people that can help you. So they think I'm one of the best in the organization, and I don't take it for granted. I'm not taking the glory. Like, I'm so grateful. And I want to use this medium to say, thank you, Oge. Thank you, Harry. Thank you for Career here. Thank you, Frankfurt. You guys can do it, please. You guys can do it. So thank you. I don't know if you want me to add other things to this story.
But I think I wanted to highlight something. That hands-on, that opportunity for hands-on, what did it do for you?
Okay, yeah. Like I said, I got to know about business analysts, or the methodologies, and some terms that I've never heard before from this. So that hands-on gave me that exposure. So I was also exposed to using a tool. It was called Trello board. So with that, if you understand that tool, you can, the likes of Jira and all that. So with Jira, you'll find it easy to use Jira, because Trello board is just like, how will I put it? Like Jira's baby, let me put it like that. Yeah. So that hands-on experience we got for my project, then we built a website, for the project I had the experience on from Career Head, and it was an exposure for me. I got to know about Agile methodology and how it works, and it was time boxed. Our sprints were time boxed, and how it's going to be in real life. So what I'm just trying to say is that whatever you do is what you do in real life as well. That's what you take to your workplace. So please take it serious. And if you are not sure, ask question. If you're thinking that, oh, I'm from a science background, or I'm from a background that has nothing to do with IT, please don't be afraid. You can do it. Today, I've added some certifications to my profile, and I'm grateful for that. And I can do better, and I believe I can do better. So thank you once again, everyone. Thank you, okay. Thank you, Harry.
Thank you so much, Tosin. And above all, it wasn't just what the information we gave out. Tosin did her own part of the work. Like she's told you all the additional resources we went to explore. So we can give you all the push, but you have to do the work and mix both of them. And the sky is just your starting point. Tosin, thank you very much. Ola here, maybe we should just take the testimonial now and then. That is done. Ola, are you here? You can put up your video. Whatever works for you is fine.
Put up your hand so I can identify you.
Put up your hand, please. Otherwise, we'll continue with the presentation, and then we can take it.
Okay, I'm not seeing any hands, please.
Okay, so let me proceed. Sorry, we had to quickly take that because Tosin had to leave for another engagement. So let's continue. Now I think I'm just going straight to tell my story. So basically, let's talk quickly about this. If you are looking at so when you are doing process improvement, what are you looking out for? You are trying to make your process better. So there are key 7 ways you want to look out for. Let me talk more about this. Let me expand my screen here. Okay, I can do this way. So you're trying to avoid overproduction, right? You just want to do it just in time. Because if you overproduce, sometimes you may not be able to sell. You are spending a lot of time producing, you may not be able to sell. And again, let me put this in context. Let me look at it from an organization that does production and sell for it to make sense. So you don't want to overproduce, you want to do just in time, but you need to have efficient process to be able to do just in time. And you make sure you communicate the right lead time to your customer so that you're not disappointing them. You want to be able to manage your inventory and position them well, such that they are easy to reach. The raw materials is easy to quickly retrieve and produce. You want to reduce waiting times. People or parts that wait for a work cycle to be completed. You want to look at what are those things that causes delay. How can you position, for example, you might even be let me use a typical office environment. You may be in an office where you need to print a document, and part of your process involves printing a document, and you need to use that printed document as input for another process. You don't want to put that printer in another department so that you have to stand up and walk over there and waste time. You want to put it very close to you so that immediately you are sending something to the printer, you are retrieving it and continuing with your work. And that is if you are still working in a paper-based environment. You want to minimize motion. This is directly involved with the waiting. Also, transportation, unnecessary movement of people. You also want to avoid rework. I'm going very fast with this slide because you can get this online so that we can have enough time to tell the story and ask questions. Thank you, and please bear with me. You want to avoid rework. You want to make sure you get it right first, because all of these will cause waste in a process. You don't want to do over processing. What does this mean? So a client tells you, I just want you to manufacture bread, a loaf of bread for me. You don't want to go make sandwich because you want it to be richer, to be more beautiful. That would be over processing, because now you're adding eggs, some vegetables and all of that. Why don't you just stick to producing over the egg? Because you don't want to produce what the customer is not willing to pay for. The more time and effort you put into a production, it costs money, and you want to push that cost to your customer. You also want, overall, what you're trying to do, you're identifying non-value adding activities, taking them off, and making sure you are optimizing the value adding activities in your process. That is what you typically do when you are looking at improving your process. So there are three key matrices I will talk about. You are looking at, okay, maybe I'll talk about two of them. You're looking at cost and time. So if you are reviewing a process, always look for how to reduce the cost of running that process. There will always be a cost. It could be in form of time. It could be in form of the resources you are using, the people you are using, the raw material you are using. Also look at how you can reduce the time involved in executing that process. What are the non-value activities? Eliminate them. What are the bottlenecks? What are the things that cause delay? Identify them. It could also be, and so many things could cause delay. It could be the way the organization is designed. So during process improvement, you also look at the structure, because it could be an hindrance to the process efficiency. So there's so many things we can talk on and on and on about, but I will allow you to go research about that and get more information. So remember what I told you last week about when you have any business analysis initiative, you should always step back and think of how best, what are the steps you need to take? What are the activities you need to perform to be able to achieve your goal? So I'm going to use this as a guideline, as a roadmap to talk about what we did on that project. So some background information. The project was a business process re-engineering project for a retail company. They had a production, and they were involved in producing and of course selling to customers. And they wanted to radically review the way they work, because they were looking at digitizing their processes. They wanted to acquire an ERP. They were using, prior to the project, they were using just an accounting package. So it was basically the accounting team that had some form of technology to manage their process. Every other department were using Excel and paper documents, and there were lots of issues. If there was any dispute with customers, to begin to find documentation to resolve those issues was a problem. fraud. There were instances of fraud because at the end of the day, you only record the financial transactions, but there are some things that kind of build up to the financial transactions, right? There were delays. There was no visibility. For example, the guy in marketing does not know what the guy in operations is doing. The guy in sales does not know what the guy in production is doing. So they needed an ERP, and an ERP is what it means is an enterprise resource planning that would automate all their processes end to end, right from production to sales, and of course, all the other supporting processes. But before the ERP implementation project, they needed to review their business processes, and that was why we started with the business process reengineering project. So first of all, we needed to plan. What were we trying to achieve? What was the end goal? A lot of planning was done, and then the next phase was to review the current state. We needed to understand what the current, what are the issues. We needed to conduct a lot of interviews, a lot of workshops with individual departments as a group, bringing related departments together to understand what the issues were, where the gaps were, the bottlenecks, and all of that. Of course, there were a lot of buck passing. This department says, is this department's fault? Is this person's fault? Is that person's fault? Everybody was right, but everything was still wrong. So we had to juggle with that as a project team. And one very thing that was critical to the success of this process was organizational change management. And it's very important. So apart from focusing on delivering your project, you have people, you have stakeholders involved in the project delivery. You need to be mindful of them. You need to make sure you are working with the right stakeholders that have that you are working with the right subject matter experts that will provide you true context to the issues. You are also working and managing the decision makers in that process. Again, the person that has all the context and information about the issues, about the process, might not have power to make decisions. You need to identify each of them. You need to be able to manage them, as in really manage them for your project to be successful. So the first phase was reviewing the organizational structure, the existing processes, and the technology, everything around it. We needed to confirm that to identify what the issues were. We went back, analyzed all our meeting notes, all our findings, documented it, and then we had another workshop called the Issues and Gaps workshop. Basically, we brought all the stakeholders together now to tell them what we identified, what we felt were the issues and gaps. You remember we engaged them initially to understand all this. So we needed to present our findings to them so that they also validate it, not that we didn't want it to be a case of what I said versus what you heard. We needed some validation. We needed their input to confirm that these are the true issues, these are the true gaps before we go to solutioning or designing the future processes that would address the issues and the gaps. So of course, there were some back and forth, and that's why your people management is very important. Otherwise, somebody can come into that workshop and deny you entirely and be like, no, I didn't say that, because they were very, very, how would I say it? Very, maybe using the word intimate, things coming out of those sessions. And as a BA, you need to be a good listener. You need to not just what people say, their body language and all of that. Sometimes you would infer what is not said, but you know those are the real issues. Sometimes they will not tell you everything because a process improvement project is it can go, if you're not careful, it can go south even before you start your project. So they're managing people. It's more like you are coming to tell them that they are not effective, they're not good at their job because you are highlighting issues and gaps that they think they should have highlighted. But you need to assure them, oh, I'm not trying to make you look bad, but I'm trying to help you improve your work, and I'm trying to make your work even more effective. And I'm not trying to take your job, because there's that fear of, oh, whenever they redesign processes, they want to restructure, they want to take out departments that are not value adding. So a lot of OCM needs to go into your improvement process. So we validated the issues, got their buy-in, got their sign-off, went in to redesign the future state, we did not stop at designing the future state. We came back to socialize that future state design. What I mean by socialize is that we came to show them, oh, this is the future, this is based on what we think, based on what the industry is doing, and based on your peculiarity as an organization, this is the future state processes we think you should be running. We also got valuable feedback from them because they are the ones running these processes. They are the ones driving it, and they can tell you what will work and what will not work. But again, as a business analysis professional, you need to be careful because people will always come and tell you, and they might be speaking from, allow me to use the word selfish, like how it works for them, how it suits them. And this might not align with the goal of the organization. So as much as you listen, you should also align it with what is the organization trying to achieve. And that's why your relationship with your project sponsor is very important, because sometimes when there are conflicts, you want to escalate some issues after you've tried to manage it at your level. And that would be the job of the project manager. You want to, if there are issues, if there are risks, you want to escalate it promptly and get it addressed. So the project was divided into two. There was the process reengineering bit, and there was the implementation. So when we were done with the reengineering, after we socialized, we got feedbacks from our stakeholders, we updated our processes, and we closed the project. So there was another part, which I will talk quickly about now. So redesigning your process is different from implementing your process. So you can redesign your process, change different things, say this is how it will work, but there's an implementation part that has to be done for your process to be in place. Otherwise, people will go back to doing, they are used to doing things the old way, they will stick to the old way. So you need to have plans to roll out your redesign process. So what we did again, we went into planning because there were lots of moving parts in this part of the project. We needed to conduct what is called a change impact assessment. I don't know if I have one deliverable open, I could have shown you. And then based on the change impact assessment, so what are you trying to do then? What are the things that are going to change? What are the things we are doing in the old that we're not going to be doing in the new? And you can look at them from different perspectives. So for this project, we looked at it from the process perspective. So what are the processes that will be changing? We identified them and we knew we needed to prioritize them for training. And within that process, you will also look at what are the process artifacts. You would have some documents you would use in the process, maybe some forms and reports. What are changing in those forms and reports? You might need to build new forms. You might need to update your existing forms and reports. So those were the things we took time to identify the things that would change. We picked up each process and began to look at them in very detail. So what are the things changing? I would try to get one document to show you before the end of this this session. So we needed to identify first. Again, I mentioned we looked at it from the process perspective. We also looked at it from the people. So people would, because processes were changing, the way people would do things would change. Their job descriptions were changing. They needed new skills and new competencies to be able to perform and deliver on the new processes. We needed to do change assessment from the people perspective. So whose process is changing? What are the new things they need to do? We needed to add that to their job description. We needed to remove what they don't need to do again from their job description. What are the new skills and competencies they need? They need to be trained. It might not, there are different types of training. So there was a process training to train them on the new process. Again, you are working as an accountant, you might now suddenly begin to do budget or do some other form of technical accounting work because of the way your new process will be working. That needed to be identified, and HR needed to take a log of all that and plan for training for those staff. Then also we looked at it from a technology perspective. What are you doing before now that, what are you going to be doing new technology-wise? What are you doing in the old that require technology you might not need? So what are the technological impacts of the change? You might need a new walkthrough because we want you to be able to scan. I'll use, for example, the security guards need to be able to, I want to use a very simple example. So we needed, prior to now, the security guards did not have a computer system. We designed a new visitor management process. They didn't have a computer to log in visitors as they come, right? And now one of the technology impact was that they needed a computer. They needed a computer with an application that would help them enter the names of visitors as they come in. Prior to now, they were using manual registers, and we felt that was too outdated. So that was a technology impact. Another impact from a people perspective, those guys may not even know how to use a computer. Okay, they may know how to use a computer, but they may not know how to use that new visitor management tool you are also deploying. So that was us identifying changes to skills and competencies and training needs. So, you know, I'm just trying to help you understand it. So when we designed and built all the process artifacts, all the things that were going to change, we identified them, the ones that needed to be built. Did we need to build new forms? Did we need to build new reports? Did we need to build any small application for rollout? After that was done, the third phase was to conduct a quality assurance. Now, somebody will say, why are we conducting testing or quality assurance for process? I thought that you would only do that when you are doing an IT project. So part of the output of the change impact assessment was our requirement document for the process project. So you don't do only requirements for your IT projects. I hope somebody's understanding that. When you are also doing process, your requirements are what the capabilities, what does the business want in the solution? Your redesign process is a solution. It's when you hear solution, don't only think of technology. When you hear solution, think of anything that solves the needs of your stakeholder. So it could be process, it could be IT. So in designing and building our artifacts, we had requirements documented. For example, one of the requirements was that we needed to update the customer information form. We needed to include a new field. We needed to design a report and include a new column in the report. Those were requirements. We needed to, let me bring a people requirement here because I think I'm going IT and I don't want to go IT. We need to train people. That's a requirement. And at the end of the day, in training, you might need to conduct some testing. You want to test their knowledge. Are they trained? Do they have the information they need to be able to execute the new process? So those are questions. So you need to conduct QA. You've set out some items you want to design, you want to build to be able to implement your process. You need to test it before you go ahead and deploy. And so when we were done designing the artifacts, we tested it, and then we conducted training. We couldn't conduct training the process owners on how the new process was going to go if we didn't design any impacted report or any impacted form. So we needed to build out those process artifacts before we took them into the training room. And then during the training is very important. It's also an avenue for testing, because that is when some of your stakeholders are getting a feel of your solution, and then they begin to interact with your solution. They can give you feedback. So training is another point where you can also go and improve upon your solution. Then when we were done with training and we did some training assessment to be sure people were okay and they understood what the new process were and what was required for them in the future state, we then deployed a pilot process. We had to think through selecting the right process for the pilot to use for pilot. You need to think about, you don't want to disrupt operational, you don't want to disrupt regular operations. So you want to pick processes that you could test without causing a major impact to the solution. You also want to pick your key process to test. And basically, when you are doing a pilot is like a simulation, because you are going to also learn. All this while you were drawing your process on paper, but a pilot helps you actually run it real life, and it gives you an opportunity to learn and to still improve before you deploy globally. That doesn't mean you will stop improving after you deploy your process. Then you would update. If there are findings during your pilot, you quickly update your process. If you need to redesign your process, maybe make a little tweak here or there, you need to make that update. Communicate any change you make, very important, communicate. And then update your artifact, communicate it again to your stakeholders. They need to be aware. You can then go live. Of course, there needs to be a community. Your project sponsor needs to review. There are some decisions that you need to, there's a checklist you need to kind of check before your project is ready for go live. You can then close your project, but it doesn't end there. You need to continue to engage, get feedback, and continue to retweak your process. You can have, typically when projects go live, they have what is called maybe a month, a couple of weeks of operational support. And there you have some of the people that were part of the project supporting operations, supporting the project in real life before you transition fully to the production team to take over the process. So that is the long and short. This is just more of the kind of things we did during the implementation. And why I included this slide, like I told you, you can use your process for a whole lot of things. You might, as a BA, you need to develop your work plan, right? And your work plan is typically stating all your activities that you will conduct at the different phase of the project, the timeline, when is your start date, when is your end date, and that will guide your work. So if you actually take your time to do your approach well, from your project approach, you can come up with your project plan. And this is part of the things we cover in our business and in our 12 weeks training. So first of all, you start out with your approach. How do you plan to deliver? How do you plan to help the organization achieve their goal? Then based on that, you can then come up with your work plan. You have what is called a BA work plan. And we have templates we can share with you. This tells your stakeholders that you're organized, you know what you are doing. You are not just working haphazardly. And it guides your thought. It helps you as a person, to guide your deliverables too. So you can come up with your project plan. You can put this on Excel or a Gantt chart and type in your end and start date. You can also have what I call a roadmap. You can use process for a whole lot of things. I'll stop now and take questions, and I hope I've been able to convince you and not to confuse you, like some of us will say. So, hi, just give me 5 minutes to take questions, and I'll hand it over to you.
No problem.
Have I successfully confused everyone? So you might be working on, yes, no. No, you did well. Thank you, Buki. So who said yes? Lara, I successfully confused you. Please tell me. Please, let's see the last slide. The last slide. Yes and no, ma. Oh my goodness. A lot to absorb, I know. I'm still trying to find my feet. Okay, basically I was trying to explain, and okay, you know what, you have to take time, go back to the video. I believe you would learn a lot when you listen again and again. And I think I took about 20 minutes to run through this. So if you listen and if you listen to it again and probably you've attended some process improvement, this is me telling you all what you've been reading is theory. And this is me trying to put, how do I say, this is me trying to paint a picture, to tell you how it's done in real life. The step seems a little intimidating to do in real life. Oh yes, and depending on your project, you might, depending on your context, your situation as an organization, you might not adopt the process I've shown you. But this was designed to accommodate the peculiarities of the organization I work with at that time. It's a whole lot of work. I will tell you, frankly, I prefer technology projects to process projects. It's a whole lot of work. Okay, people are asking for the last slide. Let me show that very quickly. I know I skipped some slide because of time, because I spoke through them. I don't know if this is the slide you are referring to. Harry, can you see my screen? Am I showing anything?
Yes, phase, then activities.
Let me know if this is the slide, this one. For people that are asking the last slide, I cannot see the comments. You did well, just my brain. Don't worry. Charity, go over it again. You will see that you would add up. Maybe this is the first time you are hearing it and you've not been part of a process improvement project. And the truth is that some of us, we've been part of process improvement project, but maybe at just some particular phases. They were doing some background work we didn't know about, but maybe we were involved during the training or during the pilots. But I'm also trying to extrapolate. I'm trying to paint an end-to-end picture. Some things would have happened before this. Okay, let me go back one more slide. Let me know if this is a slide you're talking about. Some things would have happened without, you didn't know some things were happening in the background. You only got to know about it when you were pulled in. This is very new to you, okay? Yeah. I do minor process improvement at health desk level. Good. Great job, okay. I hope we can have the video. Yes, please, sure. You'll have access to the video for a limited time only. Yes, but you would have access to it. 2 more slides after. 1, 2, 3. 2, sorry. This one, Olashade, is this the slide you are referring to? So why I didn't spend time to talk about this slide, it's just expanding upon, like this is talking about the current state, the future state review. This is just a project plan, like the list of activities. Typically for a VA, this is the things you would do. I would not recommend you to copy this because for your own organization, it might be different, but you can take a screenshot of this. This can also help you think of what are the activities that are peculiar or that will be relevant for your organization. Go back. We don't have all the time. Harry, help me in the next 2 minutes. And okay, let me walk through so that when you are reviewing the video, you can take a screenshot. So this one is related to this slide of process reengineering. This is just listing out all the deliverables and the project documents. Again, these are deliverables. These are not the activities. So you can imagine for you to come up with a roles and responsibility matrix, what are the things you would do? So that would then help you articulate the steps you would take to achieve it. This next slide is just an expansion of the implementation, the process implementation. The fact that we had to do a preparation, you heard me talk about the business impact analysis. We needed to understand what the changes were. How is this change impacting the organization? And then we needed to understand what are the new manning requirements, the new roles. Are there new, do we need to employ new staff? We needed to do analysis, look at the structure, look at the process, and begin to identify that. Are there forms and report requirements we needed to document? Of course, under the build phase, we are designing the forms and the report. We are updating the JDs. We are identifying training needs. We conducted a training needs analysis to identify what are the trainings that need to be done, who needs to be trained, and all of that. So the next slide is still talking about, so this is just a picture here, and this is like a roadmap. If anyone that is in the area of project management would understand this. So this is just a list of activities. So during the preparation phase, and this is also can go into your business analysis plan. During the preparation phase, what are the activities we are doing? Business impact analysis, you're identifying manning levels. And I tell my students, because I make them do this during our training, and this makes it easy for you to write your resume. During your resume should speak to what you did. So we do what is called a projectized resume. That is how we train our students. And because you've taken time to prepare your approach and list the activities you would do during the project, and of course, update it as you go, it is very easy for you to write your resume. For example, I would say during my responsibilities on this project are where I conducted a business impact analysis. I identified manning levels and roles assignment. I documented and updated job descriptions. I conducted business readiness assessment. I documented learnings from the pilot deployment. I conducted stakeholders analysis. Does it make sense? Because some of us, I know the resume writing process can be very stressful, but if you are good with process, life becomes very easy for you. And again, you know, this is still from a process. It started all about process. Your activities and tasks are what you do typically in your process. So tie this saying to the training of last week, and you see how process, if you are process oriented, you will succeed very well as a BA. In fact, in anything you do in life, it makes life a whole lot easier. I think that's enough. Any questions? I'll stop sharing. Okay, if there are questions, we can take them at the end. Harry, kindly take over, please. We have so much to do. But before you take over, is Ola here? Ola, you can do that with a show of hand if you are here. Harry, you have 22 minutes. I don't
know if Ola is here yet. I can't see any.
Go ahead. I would go ahead.
Okay. Thanks, Oge, for that. That was very detailed, and that just gives you, well, I won't say a day in the life of a BA, maybe like a project in the life of a BA, you know. So, and it's just a good segue to what I am going to show us now. So for our classes that we take, at the end of the knowledge-based class, as in trying to explain the BA concept.
Hi, Harry.
And yeah, yes.
I think Ola is here. Ola, can you show your hand again so that in case you have other things to go to, you can quickly just provide. Okay, he's showing his hands. You can just.
So let me.
Yeah, while Harry is trying to unmute him, so we talked about, I think 2 weeks ago, we talked about our different products, a different product as a training organization and how it can benefit you. So Ola is he's someone that was already on a BA job. Yeah, he's a practicing BA, but he joined our practicum, and he joined the practicum section of our project, which is the standard offering we are giving you. For those that have done business analysis training before, but they still struggle with the practical part, they don't know the tech, they don't understand the techniques, how to use it, when to use it, and all of that. You can still join our training. And Ola will be speaking from that perspective because that was his experience. He didn't start our training from the very beginning, and he will be sharing with us what he learned, how it added value to him, and how it has improved his work process. So kindly go ahead, please. Can you unmute? Yeah, I think you're unmuted. Go ahead. You don't have to put on your video if you don't want to.
Ola, you're muted.
Well, we can't hear you in case you are speaking.
Oh, my bad. I was using my headphones earlier, so I didn't know that. All right, so just as I was saying, thanks, Ogi and Ari, for the platform. My experience with the training was phenomenal because I was already practicing as a BA, but in some organizations, the BA practice isn't that matured yet. So you may be doing some things not knowing whether this is the industry standard or not. So I had some doubt within myself that am I actually delivering what's expected of me? So that was my reason for joining. And it was really an eye-opener because we were exposed to both the Agile framework and the Waterfall framework in handling projects. Goes from testing, and even at the end of the day, even what you call the support model, it has improved my deliverables in my office right now, and the difference is already being commented upon. I would like to say that for those of us that will be joining on the group, it will be a great add-on. You are not just joining for this short amount of time for a short knowledge. You are joining into a community that will even support you at the end of the day, even after the program. I've had the privilege to join some mock interviews there, if some of us are going through that stage right now, where you'll be asked questions typically of what the interviewers may be asking you. Be within the group here, and at least you'll be getting direct feedback from the coaches here. And yeah, it's a very, let's say, eye-opening experience. I never knew there was so much I didn't know before joining the group. And yeah, I'll say, yeah, it was a nice one, nice experience. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ola, and thanks for your time. Thanks for doing this. All right. I hope people that are sitting on the fence are moving over. People are asking questions. Okay, so Harry would just walk us through what we typically do, a typical case study and the deliverables. Harry, how many minutes do you have? You are generous.
Yeah.
More generous with my time for you.
Yeah, so can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so thank you, Ola. It was nice having Ola in the team, and we did great work together, and I'm happy that he's happy with the value that he got, and that value is unending. So please enroll to get more. So this is one of our case studies. If you can see my screen, and this case study is just talking about a company, a fashion company that had a very manual process of engaging their customers, and their customers making requests for wares or dresses and all that. So, but because they were going global and because of certain constraints, they needed to increase their customer base by having an e-commerce website. So our clients or our students were supposed to work as BAs for Career Aid Hub to try and gather the requirements and document the requirements so that the developer can develop this website. So it's a new website. So it's a lot of very comprehensive work. So this is just a few details on what the case study is like, and these are some of the things that the key stakeholders said, like the VP marketing, the sales and distribution vice president, technology vice president. This is the scope of the project. These are some requirements that were documented, and these are the deliverables that the BA is supposed to deliver. Now, let me just show you one of those documents that the students, so this is a document, a business requirement document. And this business requirement document, you see all the various sections, the reference documents, the project summary, the high-level business requirements, the affected processes, the use case diagram. Like, if you want to know more about this is a technique that every business analyst needs to know. It's a very critical technique, and it just makes your life easier, and it helps you to communicate seamlessly with your business stakeholders. Then from there you have your business requirements, your current business context, your future business context, the business rules, functional requirements. Now, our students had to elicit the analyze this and fill all these documents. So these are just them filling the documents, the project summary, the high-level business requirements, the use case diagram. Diagram is not part of the free class, but I'm not going to go so much in detail in this. So they developed this is the use case diagram for the website, the use case narrative. So usually we'll have the model, and this is the model that you show to your business stakeholders just to tell them how the customers will interact with the system. And here we have each of those use cases, has been explained here. Now, I'm tempted not to go into detail of what a use case is, but it just tells you how a customer engages a system. So this is the May fashion system, and this is the customer. And you can see the customer can register an account, can log in, can browse for clothes, can view clothes. So this is a template that can be used for most projects, but you might not necessarily fill everything. It just depends on the project. But this is a template, yes. The customer can view clothes, can check out, can make payments, and all the others. So these are use case narratives explaining each of these use cases. So we have that documented here. It's quite a large document. So sorry, we can't share this document. This document is for the paid, it's like for the paid service. Maybe the template, but not this document. This is something the students had already filled out. So the students also documented some future business context, business rules, and functional requirements. So this is like a very critical part of what the BA does. And you can see from the use case diagram, you will see the customers, the visitors, registered users, the admin, and you will see in the business requirement, the first part of the business requirement tries to describe the data structure for each of these entities. So you see the customer and the customer attributes, you see the admin and the admin attributes, and you see the clothes and the clothes attributes. The next thing is, what's the next part? Yeah, so the next part is, this is browse for clothes, and you can see all the requirements listed in browse for clothes. Now, the reason why I'm showing you that we tie the requirements to the use cases or to the high-level requirements is that there needs to be traceability. You don't want to have requirements that are orphans. You can't afford to have orphan requirements. So we try to trace our requirements. Every requirement must be an offshoot of a high-level requirement or a use case. Every requirement must be. So, and yes, and that tracing is called the backward traceability, and you also have the forward traceability. So you can see each of the use cases and some applicable requirements under each. For use promotions, hard promotions, these are all use cases, and these are the requirements under them. Then a few non-functional requirements. We also have business requirements that are out of scope, and we have some assumptions and constraints. So that is that. Then let me show you the test case that we have. So after the requirements have been done, we develop a test case, and the test case must also, if you look at the test case must also be traceable to the requirements. Now you ask, what's the difference between a test case and a requirement? A test case just helps us to confirm that the requirement is working the way that it should. So that document I showed you just now was handed over to the developer, and the developer developed the website. After the developer developed the solution, we are supposed to test. There are different testing techniques or types. So doing the user acceptance test, before that, this document was developed. So you see the functional requirement as stated earlier, and you can see that for this one functional requirement, we have about 3 test cases. The ideal thing is that for you to test each requirement, you need to have at least 2 test cases. One should be a positive test case and one should be a negative test case. But I might not be able to go into detail of what the difference of that means, but those are if you don't do a positive and a negative, there's possibility that you will miss some important functionalities, or your test will not be complete, and you might deliver a solution that has a broken leg. So yeah, so you can see the test case here. It talks about valid username. You can see another test case talks about the valid password. You can see another test case talks about, just different test cases, testing just one requirement, and that requirement is the ability to log in. Can people log in with the username and password that they created? And you see the test steps. So the test case says verify if a user will be able to log in with a valid username and a valid password, meaning that if I have my right username and password, can I log in? That's the question. And what are the steps? So the test case is developed with the mindset that the business users are going to carry out these tests themselves. So usually it will have test steps that narrate the steps that you should take in testing. Remember, this test case is referring to the login, ability to log in and log in successfully. So you will see the test steps. The system displays the login page. The user enters his username and password. The system validates the username and password. The user enters his password. The system validates the password and displays the welcome screen. Now, that is the positive. That is the positive test case. So, and the expected result is that the user should be able to log in successfully to the welcome screen. Now, when you are testing, you are also supposed to put the actual result. Did this pass or did this fail? Now, the second test case is referring to when we have a wrong username and a wrong username. Yes, when we have a wrong username. So this is a positive test case. This is a negative test case. So we know if we put the right thing, it should work. What if we put the wrong thing? Does the system still allow us to log in? That is what we are trying to test. And that's why your test needs to be very robust. So you are not missing out. You are not putting a bug into production. And these are the steps. And the expected result is that if you have a wrong username, the system should not allow you login. The system should display account not found. This is how the system should behave. This is our expectation, before we can proceed. And the third test case is saying you have the right username, but you have the wrong password. Now you might say, but Harry, why did we have to go in detail to check all this? That's because you remember that every business is there to make money, and moreover, you promised your customers certain things. In the age that we are, security is very key. Security is very vital. So as login, even though you think login might look like one, cheap thing, you don't want people having access to your system that shouldn't. Two, you want to be able to capture everyone coming into your system to make transactions and capture their details for maybe marketing reasons or for whatever reasons. So the third test case is just checking if we use the wrong password, how would the system behave? We have stipulated how the system will behave. The system should not allow you login, and the system should display forget password. Okay, you want to say something?
Time is up, and you're already giving them all our training already. So
okay, yeah. So yeah, thank you, Ogie, for that. Okay, so you just so you have your actual result and you have your pass and test. But quickly, I'll just show this. Okay, showed this last week, and you can see it's just the same thing. The use case, you see the the solution requirements, you see the user stories, and you see the test cases, you see the expected results, you see if it's passed, and you see if there are any defects. So I'm going to leave it at that. I think we've gone way beyond time. And Ogie, you can take it over for me. Yeah, if there are questions, let's take those questions before we. Okay, Yeah, okay. I know they are fighting you, but thank you for reminding me, because I have a default mode to just teach. So, and sometimes I need restraint. Okay.
She said she doesn't want to taste soup. Okay, guys, yeah, it's been very fun. And I just want to say a few quick things before we take questions. So please keep your, yeah, Harry is always in this. He only hears go, he does not hear stop unless you press the break. So, and that's just a tip of the iceberg of the kind of things you will get during the training. So I want to say some things very quickly. Please, if you have questions, let it keep coming. You see this template Harry is showing you. This is just me showing all what you can do with a process. In your projects, you don't have to do all of this. So pick your process, and this is just trying to tell you that this is possible with your process. So you might just come into a process and you are trying to do testing. Maybe they brought you into the project at the testing phase, and maybe the BA did not even document a requirement and you are lost. Calm down, take deep breaths, don't shout, try to understand the process, understand the step-by-step navigation of the tool, and write your test cases. I have done that. And I remember when a colleague saw it, was like, wow, you just processed to write your test cases. I was like, yes. And why did I do that? It was an off-the-shelf process. There was no time. That project was a 6-week project. I was the BA and the PM on that project. And I'm doing project management, writing project plans, status reports, following up with the vendor, reporting to the project sponsor, making sure everything is moving together. There was no time to be writing requirements and testing. And it was just a module we implemented. Basically, they automated the e-commerce part of a book ordering system. So what did I do? I just came in, went step by step to understand the process, walked through the process with the process owner, and I took my process away to come up with my test cases. And I've shared that with some people that have been on our project. So it's possible. Are you expected to write user stories? Don't just randomly, like Harry said, you can't have orphan requirements. Your requirements should be tied to your business requirement. And when you do our training, we'll explain the hierarchy, the requirement hierarchy. You first start with a business requirement, a goal the organization is trying to articulate. That is how is in their requirement, you understand what their needs are, what their pain points are, and then you begin to write out your requirement. So there's a process to writing requirements. Some of my coaching clients, do you know how they come to me? Oh, okay, I'm on this project. I need to write requirements and I just have 1 week to deliver. And I'm like, okay, calm down. 1 week might not sort it because you need to go and understand your current state. And I assure you, most of them have not done current state analysis. They don't even understand what the existing process is. So how can you solve a problem you don't know? And please, if you are a BA here and you are always jumping to solutioning before you understand what the needs and what the problems are, stop it. Let me use some people's term. Stop it. You will just be designing a solution that would not meet need. You cannot design solution in isolation. You have to understand what the needs are, what the problems are, then tie your solution or your requirement to those needs. So that's talking about that template. Okay, don't vex. I'm not vexed. I'm just, because see, somebody, and okay, I have a client I'm working with, and this is on our one-on-one coaching, which I tell you we do. So if you are a practicing BA and you are not sure of what you are doing, Ola said something very important. Most organizations are just understanding the value of a business analyst in their organization, and they are employing BAs, and they don't have a standard. So whatever BAs give them, they take it. And one of my clients said something that basically they don't know what a typical BA's responsibility is. So anything I give them, they will accept it. And she was doing it all wrong. And then when I started coaching, I was like, oh my God, Uge, I'm so ashamed. I'm so embarrassed. Like, what have I been doing all this while? So it's okay that the organization does not have a standard. They don't even know what the expectations are. They just went online to copy a BA response in JD and they posted it. And you are lucky. But don't take that for granted. Let that be an opportunity for you to make an impact. And you will not be forgotten very quickly. If you need more knowledge, Go get that knowledge. Is it personal? Do you need some mentors to help you to reduce your journey? Do it. Help them build a BA practice. You can even help them design just one business requirement template that would guide other BAs coming on board to use. So don't do things haphazardly. Do things excellently. Be excellent in your work as a BA, and we can support you to be excellent in your work. Another thing I want to mention is that for those, there are two different types of business analysis training. You can just do a certificate, you want to do a certification training, or you want to do a job readiness training. So a certification training would only equip you to pass a certificate. So maybe you are trying to write the CBAB or the ECBA or the CCBA or the PBA, the PMI's version, or any other organization. So, but that does not guarantee that you can perform on the job, that is enough training for you to be good at your job. So you don't do a job readiness training and get all the information you need to start a BA career. If you are trying to start a business analysis career, for those that are still trying to make up their mind, look out for what I call a job readiness training. It's different from a certification training. A job readiness training will teach you the approaches, the methodologies, the tools, the techniques, provide you with templates so that when you get on the job, you can hit the you can cram and pass a BA certification exam, but that does not help you do the work. And business analysis is not written, there's no manual somewhere that immediately you get on the job, they ask you to do this, you go open the manual and do, but there are practices, there are guidelines that can help you. So you need to understand those practices, those guidelines, so that you are not depressed when you start work. You are not Harry, what's that word? Can you borrow me? Expert. What I'm saying. So,
exasperated.
Exasperated. Thank you very much. Some people will get a job as a BA because they don't have they don't have understanding of the practices. Okay, they may have the theoretical knowledge, but they don't know how to apply it. When they wake up every morning with anxiety, they have boots of anxiety. They don't even want to think about the job. But you're supposed to be passionate about business analysis. Like, it gives me so much joy. People that know me will tell you. You're supposed to be happy about going to solve a problem every day. It's fun, it's challenging because there's never a dull moment. You are learning new things, you are thinking about new things, how to add value every day. And if you're not experiencing that yet, you need to talk to us and let's help you get to that level of fulfillment. Oh, yes. So, again, some people would wonder, why is our training this cheap? And is my time up?
No, I'm just saying, maybe we should take question. Does anybody, even if it's just one question?
Not for questions. So when there's a question, you can pause me. But let me just finish. We're doing this because of how we are trying to support our community, right? An average BA training, people should go check the price and come tell us. And it's not as if we're giving so much, we're giving less quality. People that have tried us will tell you. We've helped people that have paid how many thousands to really start the career. They paid so much money, but they couldn't start it. But this price is ending today, yes. After today, the 1.5 is no more applicable. You'll be paying 2,000 Canadian dollars, yes. And I assure you, by September, when we have our second training, you might be paying double because some things are going to happen in between. So we are trying to reduce the barrier for you to enter. And in that spirit, we are also giving you a cashback. We are guaranteeing you that if you pay for your training today, and after 2 weeks into the training, you're not getting what you think you are looking for, 100% refund. We are guaranteeing you that. And that's because we know the value we are bringing to the table. And some people that have registered have already started enjoying this value because we have an ongoing client project. And that's what is different about us as Fanoff Consulting. We are a consulting firm. We provide consulting services to clients. We perform business analysis, project management work for clients. So we are able to do backward integration, for those that understand what that is. take our students and plug them into that project to get hands-on experience. And this has shown that, experience has shown that it builds their confidence, their competence level skyrockets, and they are able to quickly get their BA job. Oh yes, so that is what we are offering, that is what we are saying. That's why I say by September, I'm not sure you will be double this price, but let's see how it goes. That would be all from me for now. Let me stop the preaching. So I'm just trying to push those that are sitting on the fence, come down from your fence. Because this offer may not be available forever. And maybe if we have anyone on our team that has paid already, that was part of that has joined our client project, that wants to say one thing or the other, you can put up your hand. They've only had one meeting for those that just, because we started taking payments about last week, but maybe they have one or two things they can share that they've learned already, like seeing things happen real life, not just the theory, now a real life project and how we're applying business analysis to it. We can take questions now. Please, we are in Nigeria, we have difficulties paying. So we sent an email for that you can pay in Naira. We gave you a conversion rate, which I think is very reasonable. Please, I sent a mail with respect to training requesting for a payment plan. Oh, Yemi, please, can you send an email again today and somebody would respond to you. Please, I'm new to this. Please give us the training schedule, day and time. So for now, the confirmed schedule is Saturdays at 12 Halifax time for 3 hours. But when we meet as a team, depending on, because we have people joining globally, we want to be able to accommodate everyone, because we'll definitely meet during the week. So we want to meet with people and agree that time. But typically what we've done before now is 8 p.m. on 8 p.m. Halifax time on Mondays, but we just want to keep it flexible. We just want to keep it flexible until when we meet. So if you pay for the training, you can, when we meet, the first meeting is to agree all the modalities and how we work before we go into our main training. And booking, like I said, if the schedule doesn't work for you, 100% guarantee your refund in the first 2 weeks. If the timing or the quality of the training is not working for you, you can back out. So can I take a certification? Oh, of course, yes, Buchi. We do have affiliation with bodies that provide Scrum Master training. So you're going to get discounted training prices from us. We are also an IIBA endorsed training provider. We do have access to it, at least a 10% discount. However, there is a condition to getting that. We need at least 10 people to enroll for the exam before we can enjoy that discount. So if we have many people in your team, in your group that wants to enroll for the exam, we can get you a 10% discount for your IIBA certification. And if you are here as a bonus for attending this training and you are looking at paying for your IIBA certification, if you can send us an email and, no, I'm being too nice, but that's enough. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm taking back that offer. It's not available. Sorry, it's not available because it's a lot of administrative work for us. After training, I've answered your question. Any other information? Is there any other information we need? Can the Naira account for payment be shared with the rate as well? Yes, I mean, we've sent that. So like I said, send us an email and we can send it back. Buki, tell us about internship. Okay, internship. Currently, we have a project ongoing and we are looking at selecting a hotel management solution for our client. We have a client that just built a hotel. He's looking at a hotel management system that would help him manage the project, the hotel. So first part of the project is to help him select the hotel management system. And then the second part of the project will be to actually implement it. So right now we have started the selection process. We have identified some vendors. We've had some demo with the vendors. So what we are doing right now is evaluating and comparing the two solutions so that we can make a recommendation to our client? Will everyone participate? Oh yes, as much if you are training under us and you have the time, your time permits you, sure, you can be part of the training. It depends on you. One thing we realize is that people are different phases of their life. They may not have time to commit to the training as well as the internship. But it's a continuous thing because we've not shut down our consulting practice. We still provide consulting services. So if you are not able to join this project, you can join subsequent projects. And Tosin that spoke earlier was part of a client project that we did in June of last year. What field can really fit into the training? I think Tosin answered that question, any field at all. So she started out as a biochemist. She's worked in the safety industry, and today she's a BA. And I will tell you, I'm an industrial chemist by training initially. I read industrial chemistry. However, I started work as a business, as a consultant. I started my career with a consulting firm, and that has been my journey in business analysis, in project management, in organizational change management. And I want to tell you something. Our team here, we have combined experience of over 30 years. And we did not just stumble into business analysis, into project management overnight. I have been doing this for almost 14 years now. You can go check my records, go look me up on LinkedIn, look for people that has worked where I've worked and ask them. So I didn't stumble into business analysis. And what I teach you, what I'm teaching you is not from a textbook. It's not limited to the bar book. I'm combining the bar book with all my experiences and every other book I've read and my on the job working. And the same thing with Harry. So it's not about somebody starts a career in business analysis today and just feels it's lucrative and starts training tomorrow. There is a wealth of experience you are drawing from when you join our training. Will the BA certificate be recognized globally? Yes, IFBA is a recognized business analysis body. So, and in fact, it's the most popular, if you ask me, it's the most popular business analysis. How long is the practical hands-on training? So it's about 6 weeks. Yes. Remember, we are also going to help you build your resume, a business analysis focused resume. And the beauty of it is that you're not going to throw away your experiences. Today, you've spent 15 years working in a bank, working in an organization. You're not throwing away that experience. No, we're going to look at your experience. Yes, baby. Sorry about that. So I was talking about I lost my train of thought.
I was muted. You're talking about the 6 weeks.
Yes.
It's 6 weeks. The practical part is 6 weeks.
Yes. So please, the practical is about 6 weeks, and we're going to help you build your resume at the end of the training. We are not telling you to throw away all what you've learned and go online and copy and paste business analysis job description into your title. No. We're going to give you the business analysis glasses to wear and begin to look into your prior experience. So you're going to look at your experience from a new perspective. And as we're going through the classes, we are trying to use real life examples to drive home the point. So you've been working, and we're going to be helping you identify and isolate all your business analysis work that you've done throughout your life, and that is going to go into building your resume. Harry, Raymond has a question. You can unmute him.
Raymond, okay. Raymond, can you unmute yourself?
Hello. Good
Hi.
afternoon, mother. Yeah, I just joined not quite long. I just want to know when is this training, and then how are we going to have a recorded section of this meeting as well? Hello?
Yes.
Hello? Okay, good afternoon, madam. Thank you very much. I just joined up quite long. I just want to ask, when is the training session going to start? Then number two, can we have a recorded section of this meeting sent to the platform as well? Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, so the training is starting next Saturday, March 5th. Same time, 12 noon Halifax time. So you can convert to your time zone. And the recording is always available. We usually send it out latest by Tuesday to the participant. And Raymond, you can look out for the past, we've been doing this for 3 weeks. This is the 4th session. So there are 3 other links you need to look out for, and that can help you connect some dots. Any other question? Yeah, for those asking about the Naira payment, yeah, so we sent a Naira account for payment, and we can resend that. Kindly do us an email so that we are sure. I don't know if people didn't receive that, but if you are interested, send us an email and we can respond to you directly. And if you need extensions, we're not going to keep it open for all, and we need to really know you are interested. Send us an email and we may consider. I'm not guaranteeing that it would be done, but send us an email and we may consider the extension. For Lauren Shaw, Ayotunde, your hands are up. Raymond, you can put your hand down if you've answered your question. For Lauren Shaw.
Hello.
Hi, for Lauren Shaw.
Thank you, okay. Thank you, Aris. Please, I just want to crave your indulgence. I learned that I never know that this trainer have been home for the last 3 weeks. I'm just joining today, like an hour ago. And I felt that the kind of opportunity you are giving to us, that we can pay 1.5, and he said his deadline is today. If I'm just hearing it now, I'm thinking that if you can just give us like a 1 week window to be able to gather some resources together, that would be fine. Then, is there any payment plan that you are option of payment plan that for someone who cannot give the bulk money at once? I just want to ask for discussion and some clarification. Thank you.
Thanks for your question, and thank you for joining us today. Like I said to the last Raymond, look out for the prior trainings. You get a lot of value from those sessions. So you can do us an email because you said you are joining today, and we may be able to consider that. And we do have a payment plan. So send us an email and we can take it up from there. Let me put the email.
And also for those that are in Nigeria that want to make payments, please just do us an email. We did send out some set of emails. So, but if you didn't get it and you are in Nigeria, just send that email and we'll respond to you.
So in the absence of further questions, Harry, I think, okay, so we have some.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, we have, oh my goodness, the winner for our scholarship. We're not boboing you. Somebody is going to join our training free of charge. Harry, do you have for the Scrum fundamental training, do you have the winners?
No, not complete.
Okay. Okay, we can we can send, some people are saying it's me. We can send we will communicate, we'll send emails, and then we can also, if you're part of there's a Telegram group. Please, I have a question. Oluchi, go ahead before I respond.
Oluchi, while you are asking your question, can other people turn on your mics so we can take a picture before we end it? But Oluchi, you can ask your question.
On your video, yeah, thanks.
Can you raise your
Okay,
hand so that, okay, good.
Yeah, good evening from where I'm calling from. I just want to quickly find out, after the training, the premium training, do we have, how much would be if we want to have a certificate, how much would that be? And what is the total amount of both the training and the amount to get a certificate? Thank you.
We do not provide the certification training. You have to go to IIBA website to get that information. And I say that because depending on your region where you are located, the price varies. So it's better for you to go to the IIBA website. However, we do offer prizes for the Scrum Master training or the product ownership training. And I can grab that before the end of this and share it.
Okay, where is that sound coming from?
Oops, am I sharing already? Am I sharing?
No, you are not sharing yet.
Yeah,
I
please.
can't.
The video while I try to show the Scrum training for anyone that might be interested.
If you can turn on your video, fine. If you can't, it's okay. You know, we just want to take a group picture before.
Don't worry, you make your face like that.
So I think someone is complaining that. Why didn't you tell me ahead of time?
You don't want to be more beautiful than you. I have to be more beautiful. So just come as you. I hope I'm sharing my screen. So
Yes.
I think.
But not the presentation mode.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying. I want to see everybody's video. So can we see it? Yeah, for those that are asking, for the IIBA one, this one we have some leeway to determine, to control the price. For now, if the vendor changes price, we might have to change our price. But as of today, these are the prices if you want to do any of our Scrum training. We also have the Six Sigma training for those that want to go in depth into process improvement. And the beauty of this training is that it's self-paced. You can enroll for this training. You have about 180 days to study, to prepare for it, and write the exams online. No stress, you're not going anywhere. So, and if you're unable to complete it in 180 days, we can also talk to the vendor to extend it for you. So if you're looking at taking a training, process improvement training, please reach out to us, or Scrum certification, you can reach out to us. I hope that answers the question. For the IIBA, for the BA certification training, you have to go to the IIBA website. You have to go to the IIBA website to get the pricing, depending on your region. They do pricing based on region. So I can't give you that price here. Thank you. I'll stop sharing now. Harry, you can get us ready for the picture. But I think it's spotlighting you. Or is it my view?
Yeah, so someone is asking for we should have, okay, yeah. Okay, no problem. Just go back to the slide. I thought I saw a question. Yeah, then Duni, let's take Duni's question and Marvelous question before we call it a day. I really hope Abidax, I hope I hope this has been an informative session for you. Matt A, I hope so too. Anthony, I hope so too. But Marvelous, you can quickly speak then, Duni. Then I'll just take any more, maybe just one last statement from someone before we take our picture. I can't wait to take this picture.
And yes, we called for people to give us make short videos. I've only gotten one entry. People don't want to win these all our freebies. So we'll take it and go and put back in our locker. Everybody wants the 100% scholarship. You can only afford one. You can only afford one. So we are still generous with. If I have a winner, but you know what? I don't want. If I announce that winner, in fact, he's not here, and I was looking out for him.
No, I don't think there's no winner for now. There's no winner for now. So it's still open for everybody. So keep engaging, keep sharing what you have to do. And I am here. Matt A, I don't know what you mean now. But
Matt A, I'm not sure I've seen you on LinkedIn. He shares, he comments, oh my goodness, I'm like, this guy has won this already. So
okay.
One more last time. We're going to announce the winner. We'll send the email out tomorrow. Please, it's still an opportunity. Go try and win this free training, 12 weeks, like you're ready for the job on a platter of gold.
Okay, marvelous. Your question, please, quickly. Okay, Duni, can you ask a question? Okay, I think
question here. Lara is saying, with your experience, which of the additional trainings do you suggest we do will be an added advantage? Lara, first of all, focus on, an added advantage. If you can do an IIBA, maybe the entry level, depending on your level, or the CCBA, that might give you an advantage, because again, competition is stiffer now. A lot of people want to do business analysis. So organizations get loads of application, but then they will begin to set stricter standards, selection standards, because they can't review all the application. They might begin to say, oh, we need somebody that has a certification. So if you can get a BA certification, it might be worth it. But I would tell you, prioritize getting the hands-on training, because that is how you are able to dust your interview. You are able to tell your stories. You are able to prove to the recruiter, to the hiring managers, that you know what you are saying. A certification training, yeah, some people do, they do cram and they are able to convince, but you want to speak from a place of confidence, from a place of something you've done practically, not something you've crammed, right? You can cram and pass your certification exam. It's that easy. So I prioritize getting the practical experience, the hands-on. It builds your confidence and competence for those interviews, because that's another ball game entirely. But yeah, and considering an IIBA certification, yes, I would. But first, get the hands-on training. And the beauty of our training is, with our training, you would not need, you don't need to go and pay for a certification training. The information we provide you will demystify Babok. So when you are reading Babok, it's more like an aha moment, like, oh, this was what Harry and Uge said. Oh, this was what they were referring to. And you practice questions, go write your exam. Okay. Any other question I missed? Please extend the payment till Tuesday. Which certificate would you recommend we try first? Yeah, for me, the easiest of them is the CBA, because it's just testing your knowledge. And the CBAB, there's a lot of expectations, because you are expected to be a senior BA to attempt the CBAB, and that will mean that you handle the project on your own from beginning to end without guidance. But a lot of people without the right experience still do write it. And you know what happens? They don't put it on their resume when they start looking for a job, because they can't even defend the certification they have. And some people here can relate to what I'm saying. When is your next training after March? It might be in September, because we don't train during summer. We try not to train in summer. We have families, we want to spend time with our families. So we might be looking at sometime in September, but that's not cast on stone, it might change. But typically we do take summer period off. Does it count? Oh yes, in fact, this training, the time you spend here counts towards even your CBAB for your PDUs. We are an IIBA endorsed training provider. We have the license, the go-ahead from IIBA to provide training. Our names is on the books of IIBA as a training organization. So yes, your training hours here, even you see these 4 weeks, you'll be spending at the minimum 2 hours with us. That is 8 hours, and that is 8 hours of PDUs for you. If you are looking at renewal, that is 8 hours of PDUs for you, free of charge for attending this 4 weeks training. If you did not attend the live training, you sat down with the replays, that is your PDUs too for you. Okay, because I want to know if there is a start and end date for the Scrum certification training. Miriam, you have about 180 days, but if you have any problem, for those that want the Scrum training, I'm wondering why they've not taken that training and end that certification, because you need to flaunt it on LinkedIn. If you have any problems, please reach out and let's see how we can help you. Now there's so much question I can't keep. Harry, you can help me if there's anyone I miss. Please, does this training fee include the exam fee for the certification? No, it doesn't. How do we claim the PD hours? Just report it, and if they, most times you might just report and put the name of the organization. It's only on few cases IIBA would audit you, or even PMI would audit you. And if they audit you, they want to confirm from the organization where you did the training to know you actually did do the training, and you can reach out to us. But just put in our name and submit your returns, or what that renewal, I can't remember what it's called right now, your certification process. For the exam, Joy, I think I've answered your question. I did not receive an email for the Scrum that I want. Remy, send us an email, please, and we can enroll you if we've not enrolled you yet and provide you with access to write the exam. How relevant is IIBA to someone in the UK? So IIBA is a global organization. They have chapters across the world. There is a UK chapter, which I'm very, very well aware of, and is relevant everywhere. It's relevant everywhere. I understand lectures will be held on Saturdays and during the week for us in Nigeria, training during, and that is why, yes. So Sean, we experienced that from our last training. We have a couple of people joining us from Nigeria. And that's why we need to meet as a group, and we need to make sacrifices, right? It might not exactly fit into our regular plan, but yeah, if it doesn't work for you, it's okay. We understand too. Yeah, we're just, everybody's working, everybody have family, we have commitment, but we need to make our time to also develop ourselves, and it's just for a time frame, it's not for a very long period. So if it doesn't work for you, it's okay. Remy, somebody has put in the email. So please, if I missed any question here, you can send us an email after this training. This is 2:05. I want to let people go back to their everyday work. Yeah, I mean, I think your camera is, you want to rotate your camera. Harry, go ahead. So Nikki, you finally found your wig. I'm still finer than you. Okay.
Okay, so I think we are all with our pictures now. Just give me 1 minute. For those that are winning, is because they liked our pages, they subscribed, and they shared, not just because they attended the training. For the person that commented that you were in all the trainings, I agree. And
Charity, just a 2 minutes video. I don't know if you are in the WhatsApp group or the Telegram group. I know Charity has always been on this training. So do us a 2-minute video. Tell us where you joined us from and what you got out of this training, and how you are going, not just what you learned, how you are going to use it to improve yourself in your current career or maybe a career change. And I assure you, Charity, you will win your own prize.
Okay, let's go with the pictures. Is everybody's video on? Please put a smile on your lovely faces, and I will take it after 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, everybody. Got it now. Thank you.
Nikki cannot be finer than me. Where is she? I've seen her. Okay. Thank you, everyone. And thanks for taking time to invest in yourself. And I hope you can, and become better in whatever you are doing. You can join. We really want you to join our paid training, yes. But if you cannot afford it now, it's okay. You can be on the lookout. You can join our mailing list, and we keep informing you of when we have other trainings. And we do have, would I say, bi-weekly webinars that can also help you. In fact, we have some series of projects, product management webinars, free of charge, coming up in March. Somebody has been on the standby itching to teach us data analytics for 4 weeks, free of charge. So guys, be on the lookout. There are lots of free stuff. We love giving, and we love taking from what we have and giving to others to make them better. It's not that we don't have things to do with our time, but we can be generous. Like the Holy Book will say, you have been gifted in various ways. How can you use it to serve others? So this is us giving back to our community. And I hope you're not taking it for granted. Thank you, everyone. Harry, any last word? I would like to join you. Oh yeah, all right, just be on the lookout for the posters. If you're on our mailing list, yes, you would get those information. Thank you, everyone. It was nice doing 4 weeks with you. Thank you. Harry.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Please, for those that still have clarifications, please send us your email and we attend to everybody. And hope we see you soon. Please like our pages, subscribe to our YouTube. We are still selecting winners, and I actually mean that. So just like, subscribe, share, and do the video and send to our email. Do the video and send to an email, and that also gives you an opportunity to win things. Thank you, everybody, and have excellent weekend. Okay, want to say something?
Please help me appreciate Kemi Adebowale and Jibola. They've been very supportive, helping us plan and make this happen.
Thank you so much.
Support, some of all these things you see will not happen. So thank you, Kemi. Thank you, Jibola. We love you. We appreciate you. So it's not just Oge and Harry. You may see us here, but we have some support system that help us make this happen too. Thank you.
Kemi, I want to say thank you too, and thank you to Jibola. Thank you for all your help. Thank you so much.